Hello, I'm Suresh Velayathan.
And I'm Paramjit.
And we're from the Correct Weight Loss team. Today we're going to talk about an interesting concept which is rather popular. What we're going to talk about is running for weight loss. I believe a lot of people are looking at running as an option to lose weight. Now, running of course is the most common exercise besides cutting calories that most people opt for when they decide to lose weight.
When it comes to exercise, this is the first thing that comes to people's mind.
Right.
Now, the thing that people got to remember is that an exercise like running comes under the group of cardiovascular exercises.
Right.
Now, it only gives you active burn.
Okay.
You only burn calories when you're doing the exercise. So
Right.
if you're going to exercise for half an hour, it's going to give you a burn for half an hour. If you're going to exercise for 1 hour, it's going to give you a burn for 1 hour.
Okay, in other words, the minute you stop exercise, the
fat burning stops.
The fat burning slows down and stops.
It stops.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that normal for all kind of exercises?
For most cardiovascular exercises, it is.
Okay.
And if you look at weight training, it does not. Weight training has continuous, they call afterburn. So the fat burning continues even after the exercise stops.
So while you burn while you exercise, but you also burn subsequently after the exercise.
Which makes a lot of sense. If you're going to put some effort into an exercise, you would want to have continuous fat burn.
Right.
But we'll also talk about a different type of cardiovascular exercise that actually can give you continuous fat burn.
Okay.
We'll cover that later on.
Right. Now, there is a fundamental difference that we have to understand. Running for health, running gives you good health. Okay, there's no doubt about it. Okay, moderate distance running, not a marathon running, because then you go beyond a point of health. But it's not the most effective way to lose weight.
I guess what people got to ask is, are you selecting running for health or are you selecting running for weight loss?
Right.
This is a question you got to ask.
Right. Running is good for health, but it's not optimum for fat loss or weight loss. Okay, it makes you feel good. It de-stresses. It's like a reset button in your brain, you know. So you get the runner's high with endorphin being released and all that. So from a health perspective, from a feel-good perspective, running is good, but it's not optimum for fat burning.
I think it's important to stress that, because the moment you approach a topic as controversial as this, you get all the runners up in arms.
Yes.
You know, they say, how could you say that running does not help weight loss?
Okay, I'll give you an example. I know a friend of mine who's been running for years, and he runs 11 kilometers a day, 6 days a week, and he still carries a spare tire. And I told him, I said, look, your body is adapted. Okay? I think you may want to cover that a bit then.
Right. Yeah, actually, a lot of people, like I said, will probably be up in arms when you say running doesn't help weight loss. But you see, when somebody who has not exercised, any form of exercise that he does will help him lose weight.
Right.
Because it's movement, it's basically movement.
Right.
But what happens is, after a while, you may find that the body adapts. Yeah. So maybe I think you got something to say.
Yeah. So it helps in the beginning, but what happens is your body adapts. The muscles in your leg become more efficient. In fact, they actually even sometimes shrink to become more efficient in consuming less energy, so that you can run faster, you can run further without becoming too tired. So what happens is, if you need to keep on continuously losing weight and losing fat, you actually have to keep on increasing your distance almost on a weekly basis to get the same effect that you get in the beginning when you first start. And this is not practical in terms of time expense and wear and tear on your body. Yeah?
Exactly.
So, like I said, it may help in the beginning, but after a while the body adapts, and then the effects of fat burning or weight loss is minimum after a certain point.
So I guess that is the key difference here. What you really need is an exercise where you can continuously increase the intensity.
Right.
Now, as an example, let's take the exercise of weight training. Now, when you do weight training, say you're doing an exercise for your leg, okay, you're not going to be doing the same weight for the rest of your life. You're going to be increasing the weight as you go on. As you get stronger, you're going to be increasing the weight, and that's how you increase fat burning, you increase muscle size, increase your metabolism and all that. But when it comes to running, the only way you can increase intensity is either by running faster or running further. Now, how fast can you run?
And how far can you run?
How far can you run?
Right.
So there's really a physical limit. We've got to be clear, it's good for health, but does it really make sense for weight loss?
Right.
Yeah.
When there are actually better means of exercising that induces weight loss.
Yeah, it's better. It's better returns for your time investment. So what else do you have there?
So basically, the other option besides running is interval training. Okay, interval training is what we call high intensity interval training. Is where you do short spurts of sprints followed by a rest period, and then another cycle of sprints and rest period. Now you can do anywhere from 2 cycles to 8 cycles depending on your fitness level, and if you get fitter you can go for that. What happens there is, while you may not burn too much of calories when you're doing the exercise, it stimulates a lot of good hormones that creates a large amount of afterburn of fat. Okay?
Yeah, this is where you can actually use cardiovascular exercises for fat burn.
And it's efficient.
And it's efficient because a typical interval training would not take more than 15-20 minutes.
Right.
You know, as compared to a long 1-hour jog or something.
Right. So what we suggest is start with a steady state cardio like jogging or running. Build up
Increase
your
your fitness level.
Yes, increase your fitness level. Once you've reached a certain level of fitness level, then consider high intensity interval training, which is another form of cardio, but a more effective form of cardio to burn fat and lose weight.
So it's a nice progression, because when you start exercising, you would probably get weight loss from any exercise.
Yes,
so you start running, you run for 6 months, you probably see some progress, but then it will start to plateau.
Yes.
Then you got to switch to a different type of exercise which helps you keep increasing intensity, and interval training is such an exercise where you have work cycles and you have rest cycles.
Right.
So you sprint for a minute, then you walk for 1 minute or 2 minutes, then you sprint for a minute, you walk for 2 minutes. So this allows you to exert, it allows you to increase intensity.
And the hormonal changes from high intensity interval is definitely a lot better to lose fat and keep muscle as compared to the hormonal changes induced by steady state cardio, which is why you see in almost consistently between men or women that the sprinters have got the best physique compared to the marathon runners.
Exactly, because you know, the marathoners are rather, how do you say,
Skinny fat.
yeah, skinny. They look a little bit haggard actually.
Yes.
They don't have a well-defined body.
Yes.
They lack a well-defined body.
Yes. That's because the body will adapt to a point where you just change to run.
Exactly.
You know, and it may not be, you may be cardiovascularly very fit, but sometimes you even sacrifice your health because you overdo in the running.
So I guess the message here is, if you're not doing any exercise, then any exercise will help.
Yes.
So if you're not doing any exercise, then get up and move. Start walking, start running, you know. But what you got to bear in mind is, this is not going to take you all the way. It's going to be a certain point where you're going to find that it's not going to give you any more results.
Yes.
Then you got to start looking for other cardiovascular exercises that can carry you the rest of the distance.
Yeah. And I would strongly suggest consider resistance training too, because that is a fantastic way.
It works together with
this high. Yes. Yes.
So the key is you got to have resistance training, you got to have cardiovascular exercises, but consider interval training.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And that would allow you to have continuous weight loss and fat loss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess from the Correct Weight Loss team,
This time,
do it right.
If you like what you have heard so far, then go to our blog and get more information on how to lose weight correctly. Give a man a fish and he eats for a day. Teach him how to fish and he eats for a lifetime. Have a lifelong and sustainable weight loss. Visit our blog at correct-weight-loss.net. Once again, correct-weight-loss.net. From the Correct Weight Loss team, this time, do it right. Goodbye.